Good morning everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another hour or so of me, you and a brew. It's not exactly got off to a flying start this morning. This must be about the 9th or 10th time that I've started this and got about 10-15 seconds into it and tripped over words, forgotten what I was on about. Ollie, you'll get this. Callie, you'll definitely get it. Anybody that makes videos knows that it never, ever, ever goes right first time. And if it does, you feel extremely fortunate and you know you're going to have a good day, but this is not one of them. I hope you've had a good fortnight, all of you. I've got a couple of bits that I want to read out before I get onto comments and stuff. The first one is a post that went on probably about a week and a half ago to do with Crocodile Dundee. It's getting a 4K release from Madman Films in Australia on July the 9th. And there is a note at the bottom of the contents of what's actually on the disc on their website, and it reads, "This is a compromised version, censors around 2.5 minutes of the film." It's called the encore cut, cut being the operative word. They're perfectly open about the fact that they have cut 2.5 minutes out of it. What's the point? Why bother? Nobody in their right mind is going to buy it. I certainly wouldn't. Steve Matthews said, "It's there to appease the woke brigade, Tony, through Madman Films, but panic not. Paramount are releasing the uncut version on 4K. I'm going to hang around for that one." Chris, you said, "I'm so glad you posted this, as I would have purchased this just to have this classic on 4K. I'll wait for the fuller, better version." Jason, you said, "It's for the snowflakes. I'm happy with my DVD." That's how I think of it. I would rather have an uncut DVD than a censored Blu-ray or 4K. I was kind of hoping we'd got past all this, but apparently we haven't. Lee Barber, you said, "Yeah, what the fuck have they cut? Most probably the knife scene, as it's maybe deemed as aggressive behaviour." I don't think it is. I think that's part of it, but I think there are several other scenes as well that Gen Z probably objected to. I can't bring them to mind offhand. I'll look into this, but there are one or two things that would be classed by these people as a little problematic nowadays. To us, they mean nothing, absolutely nothing. And I'm sure to sort of 80% of the world, I don't think it would mean anything. But to these people, we have to bow down to them. So obviously, if they find it a little difficult to watch, we have to do something about it just to keep these folks happy. So that's the first one. And the next one is about the Sean Connery 6-film 4K box set that's coming out at the end of this month. I've been umming and erring as to whether to grab it, so I've been watching quite a few videos on YouTube of people that have reviewed it. It's actually been released in the USA and America already. It's been out about a week over there, and there have been a real flood of videos on YouTube of people reviewing it and basically giving their opinions on the picture quality and this, that and the other. I'm not really any the wiser. The picture comparisons that have been going on there, where they literally compare the Blu-ray to the 4K, where it sort of sweeps across the screen and then you see the difference. The only difference I can see is that the picture does look a little bit darker. It's not quite so bright. They're all on about cropping images and colour grading. It means nothing to me. The cropping of the image, according to one reviewer, is so minimal you will not even notice. So I'm not bothered about that. Colour grading, I don't think actually means much to me at all. I don't know. The jury is still out on this one. It would be nice to have that set on 4K, but I've sort of earmarked a couple of comments here. Somebody said, I have the 50th anniversary set as well, the Blu-rays. Honestly, the Blu-rays look just fine, especially if you've seen these movies multiple times over the years. Popping in the Blu-ray every few years will suffice. That may be the way I fall on it. I don't know. Somebody else I just watched Doctor No on the new release, and it is magnificent. Oh, what do I do, guys? Chris, I think you've pre-ordered it, haven't you? I almost certainly will go for it, but I also will be hanging on to the Blu-ray box set that I've got, because apparently some of the special features on the Blu-ray have not been carried over to the 4K. So I think it will be worth keeping both sets. But it would be nice to have the Bond films on 4K. Picture quality and the difference between the Blu-rays, I don't know. I'll have to tell you when I do get it, because there's a very, very good chance that I will sort of swing for this. But I'll keep you posted on that. It's out on June the, I think it's June the 30th. I'm already being asked what I want for my birthday, so if I'm not going to have to pay for it, why not? We shall see. Right, I'll crack on with comments. Let's see, David. We'll start with David. Morning, Dave. What is your favourite film experience in going to the cinema? I'll say Close Encounters, without a doubt, was my most memorable one. But I think the nicest experience I had at the cinema was my very first trip when my dad took me to see Le Mans. Well, he didn't actually take me to see it, he wanted to see it, and I think Mum wanted me out from under her feet, so she suggested that he take me with him, which I don't think he was overly happy about. But I'm so glad he did, because it literally started my love of cinema. It was just great. I'd never ever seen anything like it. I'd never been in a cinema before, and it was just a nice thing to do with my dad. So the nicest experience I've had was Le Mans, but Close Encounters I saw 15 times in 3 weeks when it was released in '77, and I saw it probably another 3 or 4 times when it was released as a special edition, probably 2-3 years later. And the Blu-ray, well, it started off with Super 8. I had the Super 8 version on a projector, which I had for a few years. I watched that over and over. I then had the Blu-ray, the VHS. Then I bought it on DVD, then Blu-ray, and now 4K. And I'm fairly sure that there will be a 4K special edition in 2027 for its 50th anniversary, along with my other great favourite, Saturday Night Fever. So yeah, Le Mans with my dad and Close Encounters. What are your favourite comedies in terms of British or American TV shows? I love sitcoms, but they're all old ones. They're not new ones. I don't rate comedy nowadays as that funny. I just don't. There are very, very few that I watch and think that's really good. I much prefer to watch something from the 70s or the 80s. British, Are You Being Served? Loved that. The seaside postcard humour of it. Last of the Summer Wine, I absolutely adore. It's just nice. Oh, the dog. Just bear with me, I'm going to pause a second. And we're back. 5, 4, 3, 2, fucking 1. Calm. Right, apologies for that. The dog came down from upstairs, wanted to come through, go out on the back garden, then couldn't make her mind up whether she wanted to go up or downstairs. I finally got her to settle upstairs after 10 minutes of fucking around. Ollie, just know you are not alone in all this. You really ain't. Where were we? What were we talking about? I was on David's comments, wasn't I? Favourite comedies in terms of British or American TV shows. I think we got as far as Last of the Summer Wine, which I love, basically because it's nice, gentle, inoffensive comedy. No swearing, no sex, no violence. It's just nice and gentle Yorkshire-based comedy. Glasses are crooked. They feel even worse now. Another one I used to enjoy was Whatever Happened to the Likely Lads, which was a firm favourite of my dad's. He loved that one, so he introduced me to that one. I also love the film version of that, and also Man About the House and Love Thy Neighbour, both of which you probably could not make nowadays, thanks to all those namby-pamby crybabies of, oh, that's so offensive, oh, fuck off. So that's British ones. American ones, mostly from the 70s and 80s again. Soap was my first introduction to American comedy. This was a very, very early comedy vehicle for Billy Crystal. He'd only just started out. It was about two dysfunctional families. Just absolutely brilliant. Broke new ground at the time. Was very adult in its approach, whereas comedies that had gone before were very sort of innocent, completely different. Another one I enjoyed was WKRP in Cincinnati, which was based in a radio station. That was brilliant. They finally started to release that on DVD, so I'll be grabbing copies of that at some point. I've also got into, just recently, I've been watching these, I believe, on YouTube. Welcome Back, Kotter. Before John Travolta was Tony Manero in Saturday Night Fever, he was in this school-based comedy, very, very similar to Please Sir that we had, and stuff like that. Just a bunch of disruptive kids, which were played by probably early 20s guys. Just really, really funny. I loved it. The episodes I've seen I've enjoyed anyway. Married with Children was just superb. There's another one you couldn't do nowadays. That's The Bundys. And Cheers. I quite enjoyed the few episodes that I saw of Cheers. I'm starting to catch up with one or two of them on Paramount Plus at the moment. But that's the American ones. So awesome video. My question is, what are some of your favourite comedies and also favourite science fiction horror films? Comedy films, again, are mostly British. The Happiest Days of Your Life with Alistair Sim and Margaret Rutherford, where they respectively play the heads of a girls' school and a boys' school that have to integrate overnight due to the girls' school being stranded. Just classic British comedy. Carry On Anything. I love all the Carry On movies. A Touch of Class with Glenda Jackson and George Segal was absolutely superb. Razor sharp script, just funny as hell. They tried to replicate it round about 1979 with a comedy called Lost and Found. Didn't work. It never does work, you know what I mean? A Touch of Class was lightning in a bottle, and it was just brilliant. American, I would say Ruthless People, I loved, which was one of the first Touchstone comedies. Starring Danny DeVito and Bette Midler. Was Shelley Long in that one? I can't remember. Cannot remember. But those two are just brilliant in that. And back to British comedies, I'd say Shirley Valentine. I've watched that movie so many times. It's funny, it's sad, it's just really, really good. Pauline Collins at her absolute best. And science fiction movies, obviously Close Encounters, Star Wars, Planet of the Apes, Blade Runner. The Man Who Fell to Earth was good with David Bowie. A bit sort of out there, but really, really good. Time After Time with Malcolm McDowell, where he plays H.G. Wells. And what you have to believe is that H.G. Wells actually built the time machine that he wrote about and chased Jack the Ripper, who stole his machine, into the future. Absolutely brilliant. David Warner was in that one. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, both versions, the black and white and the 70s remake with Donald Sutherland, Leonard Nimoy, excellent. Escape from New York, Kurt Russell, and who's the geese? Lee Van Cleef, brilliant. Harry Dean Stanton's in that as well. Alien, obviously. Forbidden Planet, a classic 50s sci-fi film with Leslie Nielsen, and The Day the Earth Stood Still. Not the Keanu Reeves travesty, the original 50s movie, just superb. And you also asked me, what are your favourite John Thor shows? Ooh, The Sweeney, obviously. I absolutely adored The Sweeney. I've seen a couple of episodes of Inspector Morse and quite enjoyed them, but not watched any more. I don't know why. Good Night, Mr. Tom. I saw that one for the first time, probably a couple of years ago. Really, really good. Home to Roost, which was one of his few sort of forays into comedy, was quite good. You also asked, have you seen a TV show called Mitch with John Thor, and what are your opinions on the show? I've never seen it, but I spotted that on CEX. It's one of your favourite shops, Jay, for I think it was £10 something. So I thought, do you know what? I'd seen a little clip of it on YouTube and thought, that looks really good. So I've grabbed that, so I'll let you know what I thought of that when I actually get round to watching it. But no, the answer is no, I haven't seen Mitch yet. So thanks for all that, David. Much appreciated, mate. Keep the questions coming. Rick, morning, Rick. Awesome video, Tony, mate. Cheers, mate. Strays is a great film. It's a must for dog owners. It was a hoot, an absolute hoot. I don't know. Rob didn't enjoy it. I don't think he enjoyed it very much. I don't know why. I honestly thought it would be his type of humour, but he sat there, not so much stony faced. He did laugh a few times, but not the way I thought he would. So it was a bit of a misfire, that one with him, but I thought it was all right. Toy Story is incredible. Number 2 dips a bit, but number 3 is also incredible. Not got round to those yet. I know I've got to get into sort of the Pixar movies. I've also had an animated movie recommended to me this week from, is it Studio Ghibli? I'd heard of them, but I've not seen any of them. The one I've been recommended is My Neighbour Totoro. This is by a couple of colleagues at work. So I've managed to get hold of it, so I'll take a look at that at some point, but I'm not a big fan of animated movies, as you know. World War Z was good, but lacked blood and gore. The best zombie film I've seen is Train to Busan. This is one that I've heard a lot about, and it's one that I do intend to track down and take a look at. I get the feeling I'm really going to enjoy that one from what I've read, so I may just go for the Blu-ray on that, unless it's streaming. I keep promising I'm going to stream more movies than I'm actually buying, so if I can find it on streaming, I will take a look at it on that. But that's a good suggestion, mate. Hope you enjoy Serial, mate. Stay safe, my friend. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I will. Hopefully by the time you watch this, I'll have seen it, and I can do a standalone review, which is what I did with the last movie you made, One Night Rental. So I'll probably do one of those, and then you can show your actor friends. So, thanks for that, Rick. Good to hear from you, mate, as always. Steve Mack, our Criterion guy. Morning, Steve. I never give you a bad steer, Tony. I can thoroughly recommend The Arrow, Fistful of Dollars, and for a few dollars more. I have the 3 films on Kino 4K, and the Arrow versions are a definite improvement on the colour grading alone. I know they're not going to be regular watches for me either, but I'm pleased to add them to my collection. Also excited about the 4K of Shane coming out soon. Bit of a story attached to that. Based on what you said, and also what Sam said, and I believe Chris said, which I'm coming on to in a minute, I decided to go for it. So I went on HMV's site and ordered this for $24.99. Now, it's not out of the cellophane yet for a very good reason. I wanted it on 4K and was a little disappointed to find that I'd ordered the wrong one. This is actually the Blu-ray. I should have realised at the price at $24.99 because the 4K has apparently pretty much sold out everywhere. So I'm leaving that in the cellophane, and I will be sticking that on either eBay or Amazon to resell. I can't afford to just give that away to the RSPCA. So that was a complete misstep, but I did manage to find the one that I actually wanted. This was on eBay, I believe, and it cost me £45, but it's only about sort of a tenner more than I would have paid for it anyway, new. And it did persuade me to, with them being limited editions, to pre-order The Good, the Bad and the Ugly, which I believe is now out in August, and also for a few dollars more, which is already out, but apparently I'm not going to get it until early July, which I'm not bothered about because at least I've got it. Oh, excuse me. So there you go, a lesson learned. Look at what you're actually ordering before you hit the buy it now button, dickhead. So thanks for that, Steve, much appreciated, mate. It definitely persuaded me to go for it, as what Chris said did, which I'm going to read out in just a second. So thanks for that, mate. We'll look forward to hearing from you next time. Chris, good morning, Chris. Good afternoon to you, sir. A great vid to watch whilst feeding Lincoln. The nostalgia hit and amazement we got from the original Jurassic Park, I don't think it will ever be seen or felt again. I'm a huge lover of 4K movies and special effects. However, seeing those dinosaurs, the CGI or actual puppets, it just blew me away back in '93, as it did me. Because of the amazing things they can do with CGI and visual effects these days, you kind of just expect things to always look amazing, which was exactly my point. It's nothing unusual nowadays. This is why I wouldn't say dinosaurs are boring now, but they're not. We've seen it all before, and I can't help thinking that this franchise has run its course. But we shall see. When I watched Jurassic Park Rebirth, Jurassic World Rebirth, it may just change my mind. I don't know, but I can't help feeling distinctly underwhelmed by the ones I've seen recently. Even though Dominion was good, it's not one that I'm going to be rushing to watch again. The Mission Impossible franchise is, in my opinion, absolutely amazing. Every story is packed with great action, dialogue, effects, and stunts. You just can't go wrong with a Mission Impossible film. I have all but the last two on 4K, and I'm reluctant to purchase them, as I'm guessing now the saga is over, they will eventually release a steelbook collection containing all the movies together, which were 4, 3, 2, 1, start again. Which will mean I'll need to sell the 4Ks that I have just to scrape together some pennies, as I can imagine the entire box set will be an expensive one. I have no doubt that once you watch Mission Impossible 1, you will definitely want to watch 2, 3, 4 and the rest straight after. They are incredible. They are on the watch list, and they are at the top of the watch list, so I will be taking in the first one within the next week or two, I guarantee you that. I notice you've had a little bit of a shuffle about in your room now, as I see the Phantasm box set on the shelf shining away. Looks good in the spot that you've chosen. I've not really finished yet. It's going to be a few more additions, hopefully. I'm just trying to conquer it a little bit at a time. And Rob doesn't know this yet, but I've decided to make this as my new man cave. I'm going to get all of his running memorabilia out of here, and it's all going to be replaced with film related stuff. I've given up on that back bedroom. It's just a mess. So that is the plan. Whether it actually happens or not, I don't know, but that is why I'm making strides to get shelf units. I'm going to be having posters on the wall, that kind of thing. So that's the plan. Watch this space. Let's see if it actually happens. Just a quick one about the 70s police box set that you have. That's that Dixon of Dock Green one that I was showing off last time. I recently started watching The Bill, and the nostalgia hit I got on that was incredible. I never watched it. A mate of mine's missus used to adore it. She loved it. I'm on to episode 9. Currently they are 50 minutes. I do believe they dropped in runtime in later episodes, but they're just amazing to see. Although I'm not a fan of the original theme tune because it's just not as good, to be honest, but still watchable, a definite hit. You got me on that one. Thank you again for the vid. I do have a Western vid to put together for you, and for you in particular, which I've already watched. Hopefully it will help with decisions you're having to make on certain potential purchases you're considering, and if not, I just hope it's a nice little vid for you. Hopefully get that uploaded tomorrow. And that was the Dollars trilogy, which helped me to make the decision to purchase them over the Blu-rays that I've got. I'm looking forward to checking them out in 4K, definitely. I may just pop for a few fistful of dollars in a bit later on, even though I watched it, I think it was about a year ago, so it's fairly recent. But you're all saying that the picture quality is a massive upgrade from Blu-ray, so I will be taking those in, and I've also got the other ones coming in due course. Have a good couple of weeks, and I'll look forward to seeing Tony Time very soon. Thanks, mate, much appreciated. This was typed using my voice, as I'm currently burping the little one. So if grammar, punctuation or any of it just doesn't read well, I apologise. No worries, mate. I always go through it anyway and just alter things and make things easier to say and all that sort of thing. You did enjoy my unboxing of the Shining box set. You put, I'm tempted to request Tony Time ASMR and have you read it to us at bedtime. Now, I had no idea what ASMR was. Jason, you said, I've no idea either. It was the bedtime stories bit that made me laugh. Mark, you said, autonomous sensory meridian response. Yes, I googled it. It's a relaxation technique. The actual definition I read is ASMR is a subjective experience of low-grade euphoria characterized by a combination of positive feelings and a distinct static-like tingling sensation on the skin. It is most commonly triggered by specific auditory stimuli. Yeah, okay. Basically, what Chris I think is saying is that I've got a soothing voice, which I have actually been told before. So who knows? I may introduce a book at bedtime, so that you can maybe put it on for Lincoln. If that doesn't relax him, nothing will. So thanks for that, Chris. Much appreciated, mate. Always brilliant to hear from you. Roy, morning, Tony. I could hear Rob snoozing in the background again. That bloody dog. She lies just here. She's actually upstairs at the moment, but she lies just here. So it's not Rob, it's the dog. Not seen the latest Jurassic effort. So yep, for me, I think enough is enough. I think we're pretty much on the same page with this, but I'll see if Rebirth sort of gets me to rethink it. We shall see. Oh, mate, you have to get to playtime in your tatty set. Absolutely sublime. I may just watch that one first, seeing as you've actually recommended it. I think I've seen it before, but I'm not sure. I've certainly seen 2 or 3 of them, but I can't remember which ones they are. I know I've seen Monsieur Hulot's Holiday, which was absolutely brilliant. Mission Impossible films are great, well worth catching up with. Cruise is a madman in them. You know what? Hats off to him. Doing stuff like that at his age, my God. At any age. I mean, he does all his own stunts, jumping off a cliff on a motorbike. What the fuck, really? So, I will be getting into them and I will let you know what I think, but I get the feeling I'm probably going to enjoy them. What's the movie we've been most surprised you have not seen? Well, probably Mission Impossible, actually, but you wouldn't be surprised on that one because I've been going on about that one for an hour, for a while. Leave it with me, Roy. I'll come back on that one. There are so many that I've not seen, but I don't know off the top of my head which one would surprise you. Probably none of them. But leave that with me. I will carry that one over till next week, mate. Ollie. Morning, Ollie. You were saying at the end of your video that if I'm ever free on Monday nights, I'm welcome to join I'm welcome to join one of your live streams. I very much appreciate that, mate. It is unlikely because my work schedule just never changes. I'm up usually sort of 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm at work for either sort of 4:30 or 5 o'clock. I don't get home until sort of mid-afternoon. I'm in bed like the old lady that I am round about 7 o'clock. So it is highly unlikely, but I really, really, really appreciate the invitation. And if things do change, I'd be delighted to do it. But it's certainly not likely. The reason being my work schedule has not changed in years, and I can't see it happening. But thanks for the invitation, mate. I really do appreciate it, and I must take one of those in one night. Morning, Tony. Great to see you again. I'm glad the schedule is working better for you. That's the most important thing. It definitely is. It certainly wouldn't show this morning because I've had so many fuck ups. It's just unbelievable. And the dog hasn't helped. So, as I say, you're not alone with this. You really ain't. I must have had about 9 or 10 attempts at the beginning. Now, I deleted all the outtakes. Normally I would put them in, but I haven't got the patience to join them all together. There were that many. So believe me, you're not the only one, mate. It does go wrong. Been watching recommendations from others mainly this week. Started off strong, did a watch along with Sam of 12 Angry Men. And what a film that is. Do you have any favourite courtroom dramas? Well, 12 Angry Men is definitely one of them. What a movie. The bit with the glasses, wow. I also enjoyed A Few Good Men, Tom Cruise, Demi Moore and Jack Nicholson. What a courtroom drama that was. Kramer versus Kramer, brilliant. Sleepers, that was a good one, with Dustin Hoffman, Brad Pitt. I can't remember who else is in it. Can't remember, but a cracking movie. Primal Fear, Richard Norton. Is it Richard Norton? And Richard Gere. Edward Norton. 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, Edward Norton and Richard Gere. The ending to that, if you've not seen it, you never forget it. You will never forget that ending as long as you live. Suspect, I really enjoyed with Cher and Dennis Quaid. That was a good one. I watched Journeyman for the first time this week, and it's one of the most powerful films I've seen for a long time. Paddy Considine gives an incredible performance, and I urge you to watch it. I believe it's streaming, I'm sure it is. So I'll check that one out and let you know what I think when I've actually got around to it. Just watched Leaving Las Vegas, and boy, that was a hard watch. What's the hardest film emotionally you have sat through? If we're talking sad films, Beaches would definitely be near the top. Bette Midler and Barbara Hershey. The ending in that is just heartbreaking. As the Champ, God Almighty. My mum used to be in floods of tears every time she watched that. I remember getting home one afternoon and she was sitting in a chair, and she was literally bawling her eyes out. And I said to her, "Mum, what's happened? Whatever's wrong?" And she just pointed at the telly, and it's like, "Oh, bloody hell, Mum, not again. Christ almighty, don't you ever get sick of watching this?" So, Ordinary People, that was a good one. One of the first films I think that Robert Redford directed. I believe he won an Oscar for that one. Timothy Hutton, Donald Sutherland was in that one. Just literally about an ordinary family and the problems they were going through. Really, really good. On Golden Pond, enjoyed that one. That was the two Fondas, Henry Fonda, Jane Fonda, and Catherine, the lovely Catherine Hepburn. What a movie. The one that emotionally drained me the most and I found really upsetting was The Boy in the Striped Pyjamas. It's about the young son of a concentration camp commandant who befriends a little Jewish boy on the other side of the fence. The ending is just devastating. You kind of see it coming, but at the back of your mind you're going, no, they're not going to, no. Surely they wouldn't do that. And oh my God, Jesus Christ, they are going to do it. If you've not seen it, I would urge you to watch it, but be prepared for that ending. It is absolutely just one of the most emotionally draining experiences I think I've ever had watching a film. I don't think I can think of anything that comes even close to that one. So if you've not seen The Boy in the Striped Pyjamas, take that one in and then tell me that you felt nothing, because I'd be very surprised if you did. Going to see Ballerina tomorrow, so looking forward to that. This is the one, the John Wick one, isn't it? Yeah, not a massive fan of the John Wick films. I've seen the first one. It was all right. I didn't feel the need to go on with 2 and 3. I think 3 is about 3.5 hours long or something stupid. Apparently it's absolutely brilliant, but I just not really enthused by it. So hope you're having a great weekend and have a great 2 weeks ahead. See you this time in a fortnight. You certainly will, mate. I was going to do a featured book, and I've not. I haven't got one ready. When I pause this, I'll grab a book and I'll show off another of my little film books. So thanks for that, Ollie. Great to hear from you, as always. And as I say, you are not alone with making mistakes and having to start again. Most certainly not. Simon Robson, morning Si. Hi Tony, glad to hear that the new schedule is working for you. Very much so. With Tony Montana's picture behind you, what are some of your favourite Al Pacino performances? For me, Serpico is number one. Not seen that one. That's one that I really do want to see. Followed by Scarface, excellent. And then Godfather 1 and 2, brilliant. You said I can't separate those two. Carlito's Way is really good too. I've seen Carlito's Way, but another one that I saw a long time ago. Is this one based in the 70s? I feel that's the 70s one. Did you know, by the way, that I only found this out probably an hour ago when I was looking at Al Pacino's movies for this question. Al Pacino turned down the role of Han Solo in Star Wars because he didn't understand the script. Interesting how things could have turned out if he had understood it. I can't even begin to imagine what Han Solo would have been like being played by anybody other than Harrison Ford. But Al Pacino, I just can't see it, but they obviously thought it was a good idea. His best performances for me, I was watching this the other night, Glenn Ross. If you've not seen that one, his performance in that is just outstanding. It's about a bunch of real estate salesmen, just brilliant. Sea of Love, where he played a detective on a murder case, that was good. Dog Day Afternoon, classic from the 70s. Cruising, my God, controversial as hell, but really good. And Justice for All, that was a courtroom drama, which I really, really enjoyed. I've not seen it for many, many years, decades, and I wouldn't mind another look at it. And I spotted it on, I think it was Sky Movies the other night, so I will be taking that one in again. How has these glasses gone crooked again? Are they slipping down my head? By the time you read this, I should have received my 4K of The Taking of Pelham 123, my second favourite Robert Shaw film behind The Sting, which is my favourite film of all time. What a movie. Every single con that you could possibly think of was in that film. And Robert Redford and Paul Newman were just amazing. Are there any releases that you're looking forward to? That's a good question. I was talking about this to somebody the other day, and I was basically saying that usually on sort of Saturday and Sunday I'll go through Amazon's pre-orders and HMVs, and you know what? Apart from the Quatermass, not the Quatermass Experiment, that's the one I've already got. Quatermass 2, and probably what was that other one? I literally can't think of anything, and I'll tell you for why. Because going through the future releases, I can't see anything that makes me think, God, I really want that. Must get that. Whether it's all going to happen in the second half of the year, as it sometimes does, when you're going to get an absolute flurry of brilliant new releases, sort of October time being announced for Christmas release, I don't know, but as things stand at the moment, I did go through them yesterday and I'll have another look today. I can't see anything that I am completely fired up about. What about yourself? Is there any that you're looking forward to seeing? Um, there are quite a few that I would love to see. I'd need to put a list together. I definitely wouldn't mind seeing a Doug McClure set of the Edgar Rice Burroughs adaptations of stuff like The Land That Time Forgot, The People That Time Forgot, Warlords of Atlantis, At the Earth's Core. I used to love those ropey 70s monster movies, and Doug McClure was famous for them. And I'd love a box set of all of those on Blu-ray. Not 4K, I'm not greedy, but a lovely 4K box set of those will be absolutely brilliant. As I grew up with them in the 70s, but that's the only one I can think of that I would, that I would love to see. I'd need to go through sort of 1975's movies to see what is coming up with a 50th anniversary, which I think I did a few weeks ago, but I can't remember. But I'll have a look. I'll have another look. But I literally couldn't think of anything that was just must have that. So also I watched Kingdom of the Spiders. I had fun watching it. I loved the bleak ending. What a movie! I'm really glad you watched it and you enjoyed it. William Shatner was just as hammy as ever. Oh, it still makes my skin crawl watching it now. There's one particular scene with the little girl on the bed when he flings the sheet and they all come flying at you. My God, it still makes my skin crawl now. But what a movie. Probably my favourite creature feature ever. So thanks for that, Simon. Much appreciated. Right, I'm going to take a quick break. And I'm back with Sam. And who else have I got here? Mark, Jason K, our Ginger Ninja, Guy, Callie. Oh, guys, it's going to be a long one. I hope it's not going to be too long. I wanted to bring this in at under an hour, but I'm beginning to sincerely doubt that's going to happen. So I'll be back in a few seconds. And we're back. Right, I'd go and get some snacks or something if I were you, because this could go off quite a while. I was going to try and bring it in at under an hour, but that is looking highly unlikely. So I think we're looking at about an hour and a half, but let's see how we go. Sam, morning Sam. Good morning Tony, great video as always mate, cheers mate. I watched For a Few Dollars More for the first time and it was excellent. Can't wait to rewatch Good, the Bad and the Ugly on 4K in a couple of weeks. Is there a movie you had the best viewing of through a 4K transfer? I need to come back on that one. I didn't spot that question when I copied and pasted it. In fact, I've not spotted any of your questions. I do apologise. I always do this to you. I will keep that one for next week. Off the top of my head, No, I don't want to do it off the top of my head. I want to actually look at them. So leave that with me, Sam. I will come back to you on that one on the next video. Tony, I rewatched Tarkovsky's Solaris, and honestly, one of the greatest films I've ever watched. Gets better on a rewatch. I've got this one, but I've not watched it yet. It's an old story, I know, but I will take it in, especially now you've said that. I originally refused to watch the remake, but as it's Steven Soderbergh and I'm checking out more of his films, I'm now willing to give it a watch. Is there a remake out there that you originally refused to watch but ended up being actually kind of surprised? That's another one I'll come back on. I would say offhand, The Fog, it was actually worse than I thought it was going to be. I wasn't exactly looking forward to it, but I watched it and I thought, oh my God, why did you bother? Um, but leave that with me. I will come back to you on that one, most definitely. Let's see. I see 88 films are releasing the 4K edition of Scum, Cannibal Man. Also, BFI releases of Human Traffic and The Hidden Fortress, which I most definitely plan on getting. My most anticipated new release may well just be that 40th anniversary edition of Ran from Studio Canal. It looks a handsome set, it really, really does. Scum, I've actually got that on Blu-ray. I don't really feel the need to upgrade that to 4K. It's grim enough in Blu-ray without sharpening up the image on 4K. Cannibal Man, not familiar with that one. Human Traffic, saw that a long time ago. I believe I've got that on DVD. Don't think I've got it on Blu-ray, but it is streaming on. I think it's BFI player at the moment, so I will be taking that in at some point because it's a while since I've seen it. Was it an early vehicle for Danny Dyer as well as John Sim? I seem to remember. The Hidden Fortress. Is that a Japanese movie? Not familiar with that one. Let's see. So yeah, I'd be curious to see the video that you do unboxing the Ram box set if you do go for it. Tony, I was pleasantly surprised by the new Karate Kid film, despite not seeing the sequels or the Cobra Kai season, but love the original. What's your thoughts, bud? Um, I enjoyed the original. Uh, 2 and 3 were all right, not brilliant, but all right. I didn't watch 4, which was the one where he got a girl pupil, I think. The remake with, is it Jaden Smith and Jackie Chan? I think I watched it, but it was completely unmemorable. I can't remember a bloody thing about it. So I didn't bother with that one, but I've heard very, very good things about Karate Kid Legends. They reckon it's bringing it back to its roots, the original. So I will definitely take a look at that. I have seen them all, apart from Karate Kid 4. I think that's the only one I've not bothered with. But yeah, they're all right. I love the Karate Kid films. The ones that I've seen, I think they're okay. Look forward to the next Saturday blog, Tony, mate, and keep up the excellent content as always. Thanks, Sam. Much appreciated. And the same to you. Um, let's see. Mark. Morning, Mark. Morning, Captain. All of the Jurassic Park / World movies are fantastic. If I had to delete one of them, it would probably be The Lost World, even though I do enjoy it. It's probably the one I could do without the most, and I will be going to the cinema to see the latest instalment as my daughter wants to see it, and I promised her we will go to see it on the big screen and not on the dodgy stick. It's not the same, is it? Not sure which one I'd lose. Um, I'd keep the first two, probably the third one, which I've seen a couple of times, but I'm in no rush to watch it again. The original's a total classic. The Lost World was a cracking sequel, and the Jurassic World ones were just all right. So we shall see how Rebirth goes. Las Vegas was both absolutely amazing and mental at the same time. The heat is so intense, but it gave me an excuse to dive into a bar and get a beer every half an hour or so. All was good, I bet it was, if a little blurred. World War Z is a movie that I've looked at watching many times but never actually gotten around to it. You may have persuaded me now you've bought it. Can't have you seen a movie that I haven't? Well, not a potentially good movie anyway. What the fuck's that supposed to mean? But I suspect even though you now own it, I've probably still got a few years to watch it before you have to worry about getting it. I've still got a few years to watch it before I have to worry about you getting around to it. I'll let you have that one. You're probably right. Which was World War Z. I may surprise you. I may just shove that to the top of the watch list and just surprise the hell out of you next time. But don't bank on it. Life on Mars. Oh right, okay, yeah. Point taken. Season 2. Yeah, we've not started that one yet. I do keep meaning to get round to it. Rob did enjoy the first series, so I think we'd do well with that one. Ashes to Ashes, I'm definitely looking forward to watching because of the 80s setting. So leave that with me. Same time in 2 weeks. Absolutely, mate. Much appreciated. Let's see. Jason K. Ginger Ninja. Morning, Jay. Good day, Tony. Glad the fortnightly vids are working out for you. They very much are, mate. The Planet of the Apes films are all awesome. The originals, the newer ones, and yes, even the Tim Burton one. If you get past the terrible acting from Marky Mark. I don't think he likes being called Marky Mark now. I think he thinks you're not taking him seriously unless you call him Mr. Wahlberg. The effects are outstanding. The story feels fresh, but still paying homage to the source. Are great fun. Maybe I need to give it a third look, but I just remember being distinct. It just had nothing to it for me. It just didn't work on any level. And I remember thinking that the first time I watched it. And normally, if I leave it, a few years till I watch it again, my opinion can sometimes change. It's like, actually, that's not as bad as I thought it was. But I might give it one last go because it's on Disney Plus for nothing. So, favourite Robert Downey Jr. films. Less Than Zero is a great one. Spader is great in it too, along with Andrew McCarthy and Jamie Gertz. I remember it well. Just a cracking movie. I'd do a rewatch on that one. Other great Robert Downey Jr. for me would be Tropic Thunder. I really want to watch this because Gen Z hate it, don't they? They think it's like racist and all that. It's like, yeah, I wouldn't mind a watch of that one, definitely. A Scanner Darkly. I remember seeing that on the DVD shelf basically when it was up for rental, and looking at it and thinking, is it animated or not? I don't know. It kind of put me off, but I'll look into it. It's probably one now that I probably would take a look at. Zodiac, I've never seen it. I've seen the first 15 minutes of it a couple of times, but something's always gone wrong and I've always had to turn it off. And it looked amazing. Natural Born Killers, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. There are so many that he is in, that he is great in. Even newer films like Sherlock Holmes, he was good in that as well. He's a cracking actor. He doesn't get enough credit, I don't think. Chaplin, he was just superb. Remakes not being better. Oh my, I could go on about that topic for a long time, and given one of my all-time favourite films is the remake of Dawn of the Dead, and that's something I'm looking to dive into on my channel soon. Look forward to that one. Miss Violet Impulse did a cracking episode, as you know, on the Dead series, and it was absolutely brilliant. It's fired me up to watch them all. So I've got hold of Night of the Living Dead, Dawn of the Dead. The canned cut that she was referring to is on Prime at the moment, so I can get that one. And Day of the Dead, I believe, is also streaming, so I don't have to buy any of those. I will be taking a look at those. World War Z, I do like it. The opening act is great. It is very different to the novel it is based on, but it's definitely an enjoyable zombie flick. I get the feeling that would make a good double bill with the one that Rick recommended earlier on, Train to Busan. Have you seen that one? What do you think of that one? Now for the questions. Oh God, I'm going to come back on these. Oh no, I've filled these out. Thoughts on the announcement of the new Carrie TV series from Mike Flanagan. Carrie, the based on the Stephen King book and the movie from the 70s. It's already been remade. Is it once or twice? I can't remember. Thoughts on the TV series? I'll definitely give it a look. I don't think they can do much harm with it. I reckon it would be quite good. So yeah, I'm quite excited to watch it. I would definitely give it a go. I'm looking forward to watching the remake of Salem's Lot, which hits Sky Cinema sometime over the next couple of weeks. I'll definitely be taking a look at that. So yeah, I'm quite fired up about that one, mate. I shall definitely take a look at that. Quite looking forward to it. What movie releases are you most looking forward to this year? For me, it's 28 Years Later. A young lady that I work with went to see that. Oh no, she's going to see it this weekend, I believe. So I shall let you know what she thinks of it. But the reviews are are quite favourable so far. There's a remake of Frankenstein which is hitting Netflix later this year. I definitely wouldn't mind a look at that. That looks good. I wouldn't even mind a look at James Gunn's Superman. As I've said before, Christopher Reeve is the only Superman for me. But I would love to jump to the other end of the scale and see what the latest one looks like. So that might be one for me. Jurassic World Rebirth, obviously I will take a look at it. F1 looks amazing. Brad Pitt as a Formula One driver, that looks good. Dangerous Animals looks brutal as hell. Somebody said this week that they'd read a review of it, basically saying that Jaws didn't have enough bloodthirsty serial killers in it, so they've made Dangerous Animals. We'll see whether that's right or not. Cloud in a Cornfield, wouldn't mind watching that. I'm hearing very good things about that. Weapons looks amazing. The remake of The Naked Gun with Liam Neeson, that looks good. The Woman in the Yard, which looks an intense ghost story. The trailer looks amazing. I even wouldn't mind a look at the reboot of I Know What You Did Last Summer. Don't know why, because I've seen all the others, and the first one was good, but the others were quite underwhelming. And The Conjuring: Last Rites, wouldn't mind a look at that one. Take care and have a great week. Cheers, mate. Let's see, Guy. Good morning, campers. Morning, Guy. Great vid, mate, as per. Cheers, mate. Much appreciated. So here's the controversy. I've never watched a single Jurassic Park movie ever. They've never appealed to me. I didn't have a dinosaur fascination as a kid. Neither did I, not really. I used to enjoy the Ray Harryhausen movies, especially 1 Million Years BC, until I found out that dinosaurs didn't exist at the same time that humans did. It was completely historically inaccurate, but great fun. The Valley of Guanji, that was another good one, but I wouldn't exactly say that I've got a dinosaur fascination. But I did enjoy the original Jurassic Park, as you know. Jason, you commented, Jurassic Park movies. But if dinosaurs ain't your thing, then why would you watch them? Same with me for Star Wars, one of the biggest franchises out there, and I've not seen a single movie, and I never will. So they will never pop up on my never seen thread. I don't doubt that for a second. With Nail and I, a total classic that you've been sleeping on for far too long. Need a review from you on that one. I've also promised a colleague of mine that I would take a look at that one. She loves it, absolutely adores it. So that's another one that I've got to fetch down and put by the TV. I'm going to cut down on purchases, yeah, and I'm going to give up smokes and... this is you taking the piss out of me. I'm going to cut down on purchases, yeah. I did say that. And I'm going to give up smokes and booze. You know you won't. Yes, I'd love some Doctor Who mags and Empire, etc., etc. Cheers, matey. I will get onto that, and I will be sorting them out, and you will be getting the latest copy of Infinity when I've read it, and I will make a point of getting that one read so that I can put it with the pile. I shall let you know when I've got a decent bag full, and I shall either drop them round or you can pop round and pick them up. Right, I'll shuffle off for now. See you in a fortnight. Thanks, Guy. Much appreciated, mate. Callie, morning, sweetheart. I was going to show off this Pete Walker box set. I've got it literally by the side of me. Just bear with me a second. You asked about this the other week. Just bear with me. I'm just wheeling my little trolley around. I've got everything on what looks like a little hostess trolley. And you wanted a better look at the box set. So there you go. I'll do it how I did the other box sets on my individual videos. That's the back of it in case you want to look, and that's the other side. Inside you've got all of these Blu-rays, and you've got a movie called Schizo. That's all the comeback. We watched this one. I think this is the one Rob enjoyed the most. Stars Jack Jones, the crooner. Really, really good. The Flesh and Blood Show, that was one of my favourites. These are all trashy movies, but really good trashy movies. House of Mortal Sin, that's the back of that one. House of Whipcord. Another one. What's this one? Frightmare, that was a grim piece. Really, really grim. But again, good film. Die Screaming Marianne. That's the one with Susan George, which I really, really enjoyed. You also get this rather handsome looking little book with it, and it is just basically a lot of sort of artwork. It's a nice little book, The House of Walker. It was basically the king of British exploitation movies, and he did a really good job of it. It was constantly butting heads with the censors. That's really nice. And you also get these really nice looking art cards. I think you'd like this set of movies. I'm fairly sure you would get on with them. I'm going to have to break the seal on this because I can't get them out. I wouldn't normally do this, but there you go. These are all sort of original posters on an art card. It just gives you a bit of an idea of what you will be getting should you choose to grab hold of this, which I would recommend, definitely. They're all very, very good transfers. I've got nothing to compare it to as far as DVDs or VHS went, but they all look stunning. They really do. There we go. House of Whipcord. And also that one, which is the sleeve. So that's the Pete Walker box set. And what a lot of people don't know, and I didn't realise, is that Pete Walker also did, centralise myself again, a series of adult movies which are no more hardcore than sort of the confession films and stuff like that. They're just basically sort of fun movies, really. The Pete Walker Sexploitation Collection. I reckon these are going to be something akin to the Russ Meyer movies, which is why I wanted them, but these are the ones that you get with them. Home Before Midnight, which I've seen a bit of before, and it's controversial stuff, I'll tell you. Call It Carol. That stars Robin Asquith, believe it or not. I think it's Robin Asquith, yeah. So that's one that I want to take a look at. School for Sex, I mean, that's going to be sort of, this is the kind of thing that you used to get at the cinema on a double bill with another film of a similar ilk, probably like that one for men only. There we go. I've not watched any of those yet, but I said to Rob, we must have a look at those because they look like they're good fun. So that's the box set. So that's my Pete Walker collection that I promised I would give you a better look at. Let me just push this trolley out of the way now. I'm done with it. There we go. So, right, Callie, where are we? Good morning, Tony. I'm watching the last 20 minutes of the last episode as I forgot to finish it. So this part of my comments are for that episode. When it comes to making comments, I've been struggling recently between working on my books, recording podcasts, general housework and staying on top of my mental health. I often forget to comment, but I'm taking care of that now. I'm the same. You know, I'll watch videos and sometimes I'll either forget to comment or I'll think I'll come back to that later, and I never get round to it. So anybody that I've not commented on your videos, it's been up here, I've just not got round to actually typing it in, so bear with me. I will get a proper system worked out where I do actually do that. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes is one of my favourites from last year, a good follow-up to the previous trilogy and sets up another one perfectly. I did enjoy it. I'm not sure it's one I'd watch again sort of soon, but I'm not going to get rid of the 4K. I will keep it because I know for a fact at some point I will come back to it, and it will probably be when I'm sort of, let me just, bloody camera this week, and that's basically because I would like to take in the whole franchise again. So obviously I will take in Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and I'm really looking forward to the next instalment to seeing where they take it. I think it was you that said that it would come full circle to the original Planet of the Apes. That's what you thought, because I think you did an episode of Higgis on it. So I would love to see that. That would be absolutely brilliant. Where are we? Another great episode. So I'm going to have a quick break and watch this week's episode, which you did. And now for this week's Saturday morning Tony Time with the Brew. The Tim Burton Planet of the Apes. The only good thing I can say about that film is at least the makeup and special effects were good for the time. That's all. And that's true. There was nothing wrong with the special effects or the makeup. Nothing at all. It was just the overall feel of it. It just didn't feel like a proper Planet of the Apes one. It felt empty to me, and I don't know why. I don't get it. The stars were there, the effects were there. It was just everything about it screamed that it was going to be absolutely brilliant, but it just didn't work for me, and it obviously didn't work for you either. Werewolf movies. I watched that episode and it was brilliant, by the way. Miss Violet and Jimmy Lee Often will have something to say about those on this week's Miss Violet's Underworld DVD. Sorry. Yeah, that was a cracking episode. I really, really enjoyed that. Yeah, looking forward to the. I think Vampires is the next one that we've got to look forward to. The Spawn I was talking about was written by Todd McFarlane. There was an HBO cartoon that was much closer to the comics. The film just wasn't what I expected or wanted from a Spawn live action film, but if you've never seen it, give it a watch, hon. I'll dig it out and I'll have a look. It's a kind of a superhero thing in it, so it probably isn't my kind of thing, but I will give it a watch and let you know. An American Werewolf in London, as I've said above, Violet and Jimmy will have more on that soon. But for me, this film, along with Night of the Living Dead, gave me my lifelong obsession with practical effects. Definitely looking forward to getting into the Dead films again. Absolutely. An American Werewolf in London was just and still is a stone cold classic. And as I think I said on your comments, it was one of the last films in the UK to get an X certificate before we moved on to all those boring 18s and 15s. No, just didn't do it for me at all. Yes, Tony, it was WWF back in the day. He was one of the earliest examples of wrestlers becoming actors, and in my opinion, he wasn't half bad, especially that alleyway fight in They Live. This is Rowdy Roddy Piper, isn't it? I do remember him from his WWF days. I didn't watch it religiously. I had to tape it for a friend of mine who'd not got Sky, so I used to tape it onto VHS for him. So I did kind of watch bits of it. And Rowdy Roddy Piper was definitely one of the best. Calling me a crazy girl with telekinetic powers that takes revenge on everyone that bullied her. Yeah, I'll take that as a compliment. I think I called you Carrie by mistake, didn't I? No idea why. Another cracking episode, honey. Looking forward to seeing that book you ordered. Catch you in a fortnight and take care, honey. You should have already seen that now. That will be the Shining box set. And as for books, I've got one here that I'll be showing off shortly that you'll be interested in. I've got one coming this week that you would die for. I'm fairly sure of it. And I've got one on pre-order in September that I'm fairly sure you will also die for. But I'm not going to tell you what they are. You can see what the first one is on the next blog. So I may put a picture of it on Facebook because it's an awesome looking thing. I didn't even know it existed. I was shopping on. I was basically getting my latest issue of The Dark Side online, and I didn't realise they do a range of books that have been specially written for that site, and one of them just screamed out at me, and it's like, oh my god, I've got to have that. So I ordered it last night. Hopefully it should be here within the next few days. So thanks for that, Carrie, much appreciated, sweetheart. Have a good couple of weeks and I will catch you then. Jason P, morning Jay. Tony on the big telly for a Sunday morning. I bet that was an experience. So let's see if I can comment as I'm watching it. This is how I do it now. I'll watch a video, especially if I'm down here, and I will literally type the comments out as I'm watching it. And it's so much easier if you don't lose them. I've done this twice before. Once it worked. The second time I wasn't quick enough and it turned off. So I lost all the comments, for fuck's sake. Did I do them again? Did I? Hell. No, I wouldn't do either because my comments when I do them are quite lengthy. Jurassic Park World 4, 3, 2, 1. I know I've gone over an hour now because the stammer is starting to creep in. Jurassic Park or World. I love, as you know. I saw Jurassic Park at the cinema twice. I went to see it on opening day. Then my little brother wanted me to take him to see it, so I went again. Looking forward to the new one because they've said they have gone back to basics and what we enjoyed about the first one. Judging by the trailer, it looks like they have. Cinema visit next month for definite. I look forward to hearing your thoughts on that one, and I will be watching it, but not until it hits streaming or possibly 4K. My least favourite of them is Fallen Kingdom. The best two are Jurassic Park and Jurassic World. I think this new one is going to do pretty well. It'll do magnificent business, absolutely, because the world still wants Jurassic World movies. Um, Same as they still want Star Wars movies. Um, so yeah, I'm fairly sure it will do very well. I've seen White Dog. I last saw it around the early 90s. Cannot remember how I saw it though. I can't remember much about it either, apart from the obvious. I think Film 4 showed it back when you had to pay £6 a month to subscribe to it, and obviously in the days when they could scream things about dogs attacking black people or being trained to attack black people. Um, I'm looking forward to watching it. I can't remember whether I've seen it before. I don't think I have, looking at the trailer, but I definitely wouldn't mind a look at it just to see how they tackle the subject matter. I'm going to be taking them in. Oh, here we go. This is me again. I'm going to be taking them in. Famous last words from Tony 2021 onwards. Mission Impossible movies. They just got better and better as they went on. Fallout is just brilliant. Final Reckoning was very good too, and it didn't feel like a near 3 hour movie. When you're so into a movie, you just don't notice the running time. There were some bloody oldies in there watching it. Watch it? A couple of 70-year-old women will watch it. Oh, 70, right. They had their popcorn and drinks laid back in their luxury seats. Me and the wife had thought we had gone in the wrong screen. I said if they are 70 now, when the first Mission Impossible movie came out, they would have been 40, which is quite scary to think of that. For me, I was 22 when I first saw the first one. I'm going to be 63 when I first watched the first one. It's very, very likely. Um, Honestly, Jace, I will be taking them in, and I've not. Oh, God, there I go again. And Tony, how old will you be when you first watched them? I don't know. Leave it with me. In answer to Jace's question, um, right. Let's see. I'd love to see a Police Academy reboot. It's been going around for years, but they never got it together. They could all return for Hightower's funeral because he's gone now, isn't he? They could have his grandson played by Shaq O'Neal, determined to find out who killed him in the line of duty. Oh, blimey. Get the gang back together. Sadly, Tackleberry and Hooks are no longer with us, but get Mahoney, Jones, and Zed on board. Shaq O'Neal dressed as a copper in the film Grown Ups or Grown Ups 2. I can't remember which one, but I thought he looked like Hightower. I don't know. Jury's out on this one. It'd be nice to see it, but I wouldn't hold out much hope that it's going to be that good. I watched the original for the 9 millionth time the other night, or part of it, and I just remember thinking, how on earth could you remake this, and what the hell would it look like? I don't know, not sure. Especially if there are a couple of them that are just not with us anymore. To me, it's either all in or nothing, but let's see how we go. Revenge of the Nerds was brilliant. I have 1 and 2 DVD box set that I got many years before any Snowflakes were about. Is it even available now? I don't know. I do remember it being funny, um, but I've not seen it for a while. The pet shop is still down Horninglow Road. It's near Dean and Smedley. Not sure if they have pets now, though. I'm fairly sure there was a law passed not too long back that said that you're not allowed to sell animals or something like that. But I'll look that up. But yeah, I do remember Pet Shop. Doxy's when it was down Station Street. Was it Doxy's? Um, Doxy's pet store was not a bloody nice smell when you were in there for 8 hours, 5 days a week. No, I'm sure it wasn't. To me, it was nice, but I was only in there for like 10 minutes at a time. Yep, nearly 40 years since I first stepped into your video store. I'd say 1986 because you gave me a big cutout of Police Academy 3, and that was released in 1986 but could have been released on VHS in 87, so Gould knows. I do remember that. I've said what you need to do with your collection. Empty a room, paint it if needed, fill it with empty shelves and put some posters up, which is what I'm planning on doing in here, but he doesn't know yet. I'm sort of moving myself in here gradually so he doesn't notice. Only put the films back in there that you know you will definitely watch again. Be brutal. Yeah, it's going to happen. I know I've got to thin it out, and I know that. That's it for now. I've got some movies to add to a year in movies. Oh, you busy boy, you. Have a good week, Tone. Let's see. You've got a couple of never seens, but I'm going to have to come on to those in the final section. because I'm coming up to 30 minutes. I'll be back in a minute. And we're back, and now we're definitely into the home stretch, guys. 90 minutes it's going to be, I think. I'm so sorry. Right, I've read out Jay's comments, and I've got two never seen it's. For some reason, I've missed Mark's out. Mark, I'm so sorry. I will attach yours to the next one, I promise you. Your first one, Jay, was Serpico from 1973. Synopsis. Serpico is a cop in the 1960s, early 70s. Unlike all his colleagues, he refuses a share of the money that the cops routinely extort from local criminals. Nobody wants to work with Serpico, and is in constant danger of being placed in life-threatening positions by his partners. Nothing seems to get done, even when he goes to the highest of authorities. Despite the dangers he finds himself in, he still refuses to go with the flow, in the hope that one day the truth will be known. Verdict. I've seen this knocking about for years, video shows and many TV broadcasts, but I've never bothered with it, so I thought I'd give it a go. I really enjoyed this, so much so that I purchased the DVD too for future viewings. That kind of surprised me. The next one didn't. You never seen it for this week was Somewhere in Time from 1980, one of my favourite movies ever, Jane Seymour and Christopher Reeve. Synopsis. A Chicago playwright uses self-hypnosis to travel back in time and meet the actress whose vintage portrait hangs in a grand hotel. Verdict. Now, I Tony raves about this movie, I certainly do. I thought it looked a bit shit to me, sounded shit too, but I had to watch it. I watched it all anyway, so I should have gone with my gut feeling. This was one of the most boring, pointless movies I've seen in my life. I only finished watching it because I wanted to include it on this thread. Never again, anyway. Like I said in the comments, mate, it's good that you took it on and that you actually gave it a go. But if I'd have known you were taking that one on, I'd have erred on the side of probably not liking it. So that one didn't come as a massive surprise. But thanks for sharing that with us, Jay. Looking forward to seeing what next week's is. Right, I've got a few bits to show off, and then I'm going to leave you all in peace to get on with your weekend. I'll start with some magazines, as I always do. Latest issue of Yours Retro. Articles on Robert Redford, the Dam Busters, Barbara Stanwyck, all sorts. I love this magazine. It's great to read on coffee break. The latest issue of Intermission, which is obviously his Talking Pictures official magazine. Articles on Googie Withers, Jean Marsh, who was Rose in Upstairs Downstairs. All sorts of lovely nostalgia in that. Always enjoy a read of that. The latest Empire. I'm not sure what that is on the cover. Is it the Fantastic? Oh yeah, Fantastic Four. That's obviously the Silver Surfer, but that'll clue me up on what's coming out. And this one came yesterday, the latest issue of SFX. I'll keep all these for you, Guy, because I know you love your sci-fi. Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Stranger Things, 28 Years Later, The Toxic Avenger. They've remade it, haven't they? Superman Fright Night, George A. Romero. That'll be good for a read. Jurassic World Rebirth, Squid Games, The Shrouds, the Brian Clemens Archive. Oh, that'd be a good one. Predator and the Sandman, Badlands. Predator Badlands. That's another one. That I'll come back to in a minute. A book. Callie, you'll like this one. Dawn of the Dead. I couldn't resist it. I don't know whether this is the same edition that you got. I can't remember whether you showed it off on your video or not. But I spotted this and thought, you know what? I would love to read the novelisation, because apparently it is very, very different from the movie. So looking forward to getting a look at that. Right, on to DVDs and Blu-rays. There was a series in the 80s that I would have loved to have seen. I didn't watch it from the beginning, so I couldn't see the point in getting into it. It was also being shown on ITVX. It was sort of on demand, but I missed it. I went to watch the first episode the other night and it had gone. So I tracked this box set down because I really would like to watch this. Howard's Way. It's all set around the harbour, apparently, and the yacht set. That's pretty much all I know. That's obviously the box set as you get it, with all the DVDs in it. Definitely looking forward to having a watch at that, but at least I can take that on an hour at a time. So that's that box set. I showed this one off on a video yesterday, so I'm not going to do it again, but the Quatermass Experiment, which is an absolutely glorious box set. If you've not checked out the video, take a look and you'll see what I mean. But this is a beautiful box set. They have taken so much care with this. It's just a thing of beauty. Everything in there you could wish to know about this movie. There's a beautiful book with it, art cards, all sorts of stuff. A magnificent box set. Now some Blu-rays and DVDs, also a book in here as well. I bumped into the trailer for this by accident. I was actually looking for something else and thought, I've never seen that, I wouldn't mind a look at that. And I couldn't find it streaming, so I grabbed this for, I think it was £1.70 or something like that. Gravity. All I know is it's about two astronauts that get stranded outside a space station and what happens to them. I would definitely love a look at this, so I'm going to be taking that one in very, very soon. This was recommended by Ollie, who found it a very, very difficult watch, which obviously immediately attracted me to it. I do like Nicolas Cage and Elizabeth Shue, can't go wrong. Leaving Las Vegas. Again, know nothing about it apart from the fact it's to do with drug addiction, and it's set in Las Vegas, obviously. So I will be taking that one in. I also couldn't resist grabbing a copy of the book upon which the film is based. It wasn't on Audible. I was quite surprised about that. So I thought I'd have a read of that at some point. This one, I saw an article about this on Facebook, and I couldn't remember for the life of me whether I'd seen it or not. Took one look at the trailer and thought, wow, that looks incredible. It's an oldish film, Brad Pitt and Cate Blanchett. The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. This is the guy that ages backwards, if I remember right. I just remember being entranced by the trailer and thought, you know what, I'm gonna grab that. And I think this was a silly price. It was only about £1 or something like that from Amazon secondhand. So take a look at that one. It's a long film though. I think it's about 2.5 hours, probably slightly more. Let's see. This is one that I was talking about to Ollie. We were talking about Agatha Christie movies, and I happened to say that I've seen this one a couple of times and loved the fact that it had got a whodunit break near the end, which is basically where the film freezes, you get a clock come up and a voice announces that they're now going to give you 60 seconds worth of clues to help you decide who the murderer is, and that's 10 Little Indians. I believe the title of the book upon which this is based uses another word, not Indians, one that even I daren't say on here because I'll get struck off. But this is a cracking movie. Black and white. Stars Shirley Eaton, who was one of the original Bond girls. Shirley Eaton was the one that got painted gold in Goldfinger. Right. Oh, you can tell this is dragging on, can't you? She was the one that got painted gold in Goldfinger, is what I was trying to say right at the beginning. That's Shirley Eaton. She stars in that one. I can't wait to wind this up now. And this one, I was listening to a podcast. I'm starting to re-listen to Quentin Tarantino's, not Pure Cinema, what's it called? Video Archive podcast that he does with Roger Avery, and they're quite a lengthy discussion on this movie. It has been a rare movie to get hold of. The first time I listened to it, probably 18 months ago, I couldn't find it for love nor money. It wasn't on YouTube, it wasn't on for download, there were no DVDs or Blu-rays available, and I spotted this again by accident, The One-Armed Executioner. I only know what I've heard on the podcast, and it sounds absolutely brilliant. It sounds as brutal as hell, but that's one that I'm definitely looking forward to taking a look at. And there's also one called They Call Her Cleopatra Wong. Know nothing about that one, but I think you get the idea. And this last one, just bear with me. This last one, I don't know whether you remember a series called Ace of Wands from the early 70s. I think I mentioned this in front of Guy, and he said, well, we're not all pensioners, are we? I'm taking it that you won't remember it. Caroline might remember it. It was from the early 70s, starred Michael Mackenzie, I believe, who played a rather well-to-do mystic who lived in a penthouse, who basically took on sort of supernatural cases. It was great stuff back in the day, and they managed to get two of the cast together for a sort of a reunion, and this is the DVD of that night, and this goes on for nearly 3.5, maybe 4 hours. This is excellent value. This is an audience with tarot. That was the name of it. That was the character that Michael Mackenzie played, and that's the back of it. This was actually in Derby, and I kind of wish, looking at the first 15 minutes of this, I really wished I'd have gone to this, because it must have been an absolutely cracking night. And at the beginning of the video, it spends the first half hour in the foyer, sort of, watching people filter in and talking to people, interviewing the sort of the cast members before they actually go on stage. And there was a concession stand of merchandise and stuff like that. And I messaged the guy that I actually got that from, to ask him basically whether they got any of the goodie bags still available that they were selling on there, which was just a mixture of bits and pieces. And he said, yeah. So I PayPal'd the money over to him and got these through. Let's make sure I've got it all out. No, I haven't. Any more? Oh, there is another one. Anything else? Nope. And what you've got here is basically, that's a plain piece of cardboard. Little bit of artwork there. It's just memorabilia, and I just really, really fancied it to go with the DVD. You've got photographs of the two main cast members. That's Michael Mackenzie. Yeah, very 70s, I know. Petra Markham, who was his sidekick. Another sidekick, Chaz. That's a little like him. They used to call these cigarette cards, didn't they, at one time? And also on their Peacock Pie with Brian, played Mr. Barraclough in Porridge, and also Foggy, I believe, in Last of the Summer Wine. There's a postcard here which basically advertises the whole evening. A little booklet which basically shows you, it's just details from the series. It's only a little one. And obviously a picture of Michael Mackenzie in the classic pose on the back. And a couple of badges. We used to love badges, didn't we, in the 70s? So, and that was that. Oh, God, it's been a long haul, guys, and it's not gone particularly well, but you'll probably think, stop worrying, it was bloody fine. Right, that is all I've got for you this week, guys. Hope you have a good couple of weeks. Hope you enjoy the video. If you do and you're watching it for the first time, I'd appreciate likes and subscribes and all that sort of thing. It'd be very much appreciated. I'll be back with you in 2 weeks with more of the same. And that is pretty much it. As I say, have a good couple of weeks, guys. Thanks ever so much for joining me. Your continued support is much appreciated. As I said before, this wouldn't even get done if it wasn't for you guys, because I'd have nobody to aim it at. So keep the questions coming, keep the comments coming, because that's what keeps this going. So thanks again, guys. Have a brilliant couple of weeks, and I will talk to you all again very soon. Take care. Ta-da.